Doing well?
You're live.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I'd like to say thank you for all the positive comments. My last appearance some time ago. It's been quite a while, but better, costs nothing to be civil and better late than never. So thank you all, and I hope I can continue to keep you entertained.
Well, it's great because we've been planning this for a while, haven't we, John?
Yeah.
And the weather put the scuppers on the last one. Actually, we had a bit of bad weather yesterday. I was hoping we wouldn't get that again today, and that meant that we couldn't progress with the stream. But anyway, we've managed to get ourselves together and get this, because John's brought us a load of gear, and you'll see it on a different video coming up. But that's for down the line. But you will see on this one, it's just a live stream. This is John's first ever live stream. So he's just saying he's nervous, but as you'll see, John, from this video, you don't have to be nervous. It's just really talking to the screen, talking to me. We'll answer the comments down below, and we'll just have a good time.
Yeah, hope it all goes well. Yeah,
and I'm sure if anybody has got any questions for John, if you want to test his knowledge.
No, I knew you'd say that.
But to me, if this is your chance to ask John, because it's great to get you on the stream and get that one-to-one contact, because I know that people are quite, they do like your videos, and also like the fact that you know what you're talking about when you talk about your various things, like your martial arts and your giallo and horror and everything in general. So I'm excited to have this chat with John. So feel free to ask him anything you like,
within reason.
Okay, so obviously I can't put the comments up the stream, because John was saying, do you put the comments on the screen? I can't do on this one, the YouTube channel. This will just be me reading them out. So I'll read them out. We'll just
fair enough. Yeah.
So first up, we've got Clark Teddles. Hello, Clark. You all right? Hello, John. Hope you're well. Yes.
Yeah, nice to hear from you, Clark. Hope you're well too. Hope we had a good day and all's going okay.
No, Clark lives in Australia actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to know. As I always ask you, Clark, what time is it where you are? Because at the moment it's 3 o'clock with us, and we're going to be on for an hour. What we'd have done is, if we got together earlier, we'd have done a bit longer, but we're going to go for an hour on this first one. But the next one, the hour will fly over. But the next one, we're going to definitely be here for longer than that. But this is basically like a trial for yourself, And you
see if I can last that long.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you'll be saying after the hours, and going to do another 3 hours, because it gets very addictive, I find. So we've got Undead Sicken 83. Hello, John and John. Hope you're both doing well. We're doing all right.
It's a Friday, so I'm definitely doing okay. We're both definitely doing okay.
I'm off work today, and John's just finished work, so we're both good on that respect. So Undead 683 also says, now that he has passed away, favourite Ruggero Deodato film?
I would think for me, it's probably Jungle Holocaust, aka Last Cannibal World, Last Survivor, the one with Ivan Razumov and Massimo Foschi.
Is that Ultimo Mondo Cannibal?
Yeah, 1976. Right. Yeah, that's. Were you expecting to see Cannibal Holocaust? Yeah, it's.
What do you think of Cannibal Holocaust?
It's a classic of the subgenre, but for me personally, I prefer Cannibal Ferox, Cannibal Apocalypse, and Jungle Holocaust.
I haven't seen Jungle Holocaust for yonks.
But it's a good film because it looks much better. It's shot in the 235. It looks a lot more theatrical.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Aye. I would say, for me, his best film for me is Cannibal Holocaust. I think it's his most accomplished film, because it's got the best. I know it's got some horrible stuff in it, but I'm going to say as well, Don't Go in the Park.
House on the Edge of the Park.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the fact I always get a blast out of David Hess and how evil he is in it. Although he's not as evil as I originally thought he was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without giving anything away. But I think that film for me, I like watching it. I watch it always more than Cannibal Holocaust.
Well, you've got the Hoff and you've got the Hess.
You're right there.
Let's have a look. But thank you all for the nice comments so far. I'm just trying to keep track of them all come up on the screen. It's all new to me, this.
The good thing is, when they come up there, if we go past too much, we can go down. We don't have to miss the comments out. We're going to try and answer as many comments as we can in this. But as you know, it's not the easiest to get through it. But we'll see how we're doing.
Now, when I think of Australia, Clark, I think we are Umbrella Entertainment, Madman Entertainment, Via Vision Entertainment. 3 great Australian labels. got a lot of their titles, you know.
Are
And
you big fans?
yeah, I mean, I think there's some great Australian releases up there, and you know, the Australian people are lovely people anyway. Because my late dad, he served his apprenticeship on the boats way back in the 1960s, and one of the places he went to was Australia more than once, and he loved the country. He loved Australia. He loved the Australian people. Thought were very hospitable, very friendly, you know. And I can well believe it because I've known some Australians in the odd one or two in my time, and they've been lovely people. So you know, that's great.
I agree. So Brian's here. Hi, John. Hi, Brian. Blu-ray Baz. Totally random question. What is that behind you, and why is it always covered up in plastic? This is my old TV.
Right.
And the fact that I've covered it over with plastic is because I don't want to get damaged. And also, if I didn't have it on, I know it reflects a bit, but the reflection of the TV is worse because it's like a mirror. So that's...
I did suspect when I saw earlier on before we started the live stream, I thought that must be old TV. Now you've got the larger one in there.
Yeah, and it's I'm saying it's still good TV. We'll decide whether or not to keep it here or do something with it or give it away. I don't know. At the moment, something, yeah. But yes, I know. I would like to move it, but knowing my luck, I'll probably move it and smash it. That's what I seem to do with stuff.
Once again, like I can say, there's quite a few positive comments, which I'm grateful for. So, you know, thank you. You know, it's keep them coming if you like. You know,
that's the good thing. And Clark said it's 2 a.m. here. I've got a cup of tea with me, and I'm well, thanks. You must never go to bed, Clark. I'm saying that because Clark's always on a live stream, especially during the daytime, and I know it's not the best time for him.
Oh no,
you know, so it's great he's here on a time when it's not as easy. I mean, it's just 3 o'clock for us.
It's nice to make somebody making that kind of effort, you know, because obviously that passion about cinema, about like, you know, this channel, you know.
Good lad.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's also going back to Deodato, I quite like the Atlantis Interceptors. Raiders of Atlantis, you know, the one with Christopher Connolly and Bruce Barron. Yeah, Severin released the Blu-ray a while back. I would like to see it come out over here, actually. But that's another one of those, post-apocalypse Italian action from around the early 80s.
Did he do Cut and Run?
Yeah, he did Cut and Run. He did a one called the Concorde Affair in 1979, which is like basically, airplane rip-off, airport rip-off, or whatever it was. That was okay. I saw it on video way back when in the 90s, and that wasn't a bad film, like for like an Italian disaster movie rip-off. Quite good, yeah. And he also did the 88 Giallo, Off Balance, with Donald Pleasence and Michael York. That's quite good, actually. That's worth a watch.
Is that the one that's it's got a different title? And Shameless.
Phantom of Death.
Yeah.
Michael York plays a pianist who I think starts to go off the deep end and he goes on murderous rampage.
Yeah.
But it's quite good, actually.
I've got that, but I've got to watch it the DVD anyway. And Sophie's Retro Revival, Soph, says, hello guys, hope you're well. Yeah, we're doing great, Soph. Hope you're well. I know you are anyway. And Soph also says, I'm feeling mushy, so just want to say, John, I love you. And you are a top bloke, proper legend.
I don't know which John that is. I don't know.
I think it's a pair.
All right, okay, that's absolutely fine.
She's Joyce. Talked to Soph quite a lot actually, and she's always very supportive, and she's a great girl.
Oh,
great to get. If you're on a live stream, Soph, she's great company. I'll say so. Straight back at you, Soph.
Certainly comes across that way by the post, so you know that's fine by me. You know?
That's what it's all about. Be nice, be kind.
As Patrick Swayze would say in Roadhouse, be nice. You know.
Yes. Then he goes and breaks your neck.
Well, that's it. You know.
So Mark Stewart says, hello to both Johns. Hello, Mark, you all right?
All right, Mark. And I remember your name for a few posts in the past. You've always had a good word to say about me. So, hi, I hope you're doing well. Lovely to hear from you.
Well, just to quickly go on to that, you've always had a good reception on your videos, and a lot of people have asked, when's John Hall coming on next? When there's a live stream coming up, and all that type of thing. So it's not as if you're not well known in this channel, if you know what I mean.
Well, you know me. I mean, I've said before, I'll say it again. You know, I don't consider myself any kind of expert. There's people out there who know a lot more than me. I like to remain modest, if nothing else. You know what I mean? You know,
I'm not one of them.
I mean, I can think of a lot. You know, I mean, there's people out there who know. I don't think there's only one person out there who knows everything about cinema.
No, you're right.
You know, I think to suggest one person knows more than anybody else it's garbage to me. But, you know, I know a bit about this, a bit about that, a bit about the other. If that's good enough to answer a question, then fine. If it's not, then so be it. You know, I think if you're in a situation like this, like amongst fans, and if there's competition or rivalry, it's because somebody's brought it into the mix. It doesn't need to be there. It doesn't need to exist.
No.
You know, I mean,
why should it?
You could have somebody who knows everything about Hammer cinema, but know nothing about Italian cinema.
Yeah.
You know, you could have well, exactly. You could have somebody who knows everything about Hong Kong cinema, but know nothing about, you know, like Spanish cinema or something like that. You know, I know what I know, and it's the same with, you know, you, and likes of all your subscribers. We all have our levels of knowledge. You know?
Well, I do say that some people have got fantastic. It's best thing in here. You can, if you know that you don't know anything, you can ask somebody, and someone will tell you what it is.
Well, that's what I think. When you've got a good community, you bounce off well off each other.
Well, you know? That's a definite with this. I'll tell you that you'd get some great knowledge imparted on you.
Music, Mark. Let's have a look. I'm predominantly 80s. I do like some 70s stuff. I wouldn't say I try and, I mean, yeah, some genres I try and avoid, but I mean, well, I'll give you an example. I love stuff like, you know, ABBA, Aha, you know, ZZ Top, Killing Joke, Depeche Mode, In Excess, Pink Floyd. You know, I could go on and on and on. You know, but it's generally 80s stuff with, some 70s stuff. Maybe even a smidgen of 60s stuff like Rolling Stones, The Who. You know,
you don't go much on punk, though, do you, John?
No.
Yeah, I
know. No. Yeah, I know you do.
But saying that, you like Danzig from the Misfits.
I do. Yeah, I do like some of his 90s stuff. You know,
just went off the boil a bit, but yeah, I do agree.
Yeah, but I mean, back in the day, I mean, you did lend me those CDs. I think the first 4 albums.
Yeah, the best ones actually is the first 4. Remember this with a picture?
Okay.
If I can do it. That's it. That was about press the right button. All right. So Undead Sick 83 says, I think the new releases from 88 films have the best cut of the film. They kept the turtle, but they took out the screaming musk rat. Good choices, though. I
must admit, I mean, you know, that turtle scene is it goes on forever.
It's too long.
You know, and it's. I mean, to be honest with you, when it comes to count, yes, I like an uncut version. You know, only because for me, you get your money's worth. If you pay your money, you shouldn't have to get a cut version. But I can understand fans who say, "Well, I don't prefer the animal stuff," which I understand because I'm the same way. You know, when I watch the Cannibal movie, I watch it for the for the violence, but not for the animal violence. You know, I mean, like to me, Cannibal Feed Rock is like a comedy classic. Apart from the animal violence, there's nothing to laugh about that. Yeah. But you know, like John Morgan's the bad guy, and you know some of the dialogue he comes out with, which I'm not going to repeat here for obvious reasons, but it's a good laugh to me. Bar the animal stuff, you know, like I say, so I can understand why people prefer the animal cruelty-free versions. You know, I mean,
it's good option. It's good to have the option.
Yeah, exactly. You've got the best of both worlds. You've got the uncut version for those. You know, like I say, I would watch it just because it's uncut. But for those who don't want to watch animal stuff, again, I understand that, and I think that, you know, it's good to have a choice. You know, so hi.
You're right. I do agree with that one. Michael Hewitt, hi both. Good to see you both together again on a live stream. Yes.
Nice to hear from you, Michael. Hope you're doing well.
And I spoke to Michael last night. Actually, we did a video call. I was telling you about that.
All right.
Okay. A big bit of it. Now, Michael, without giving you any heads up on this, he's sent me a box of delights, and I've opened that. But this is going to be an opening. The box is going to be a different one. It's one I've never done before. And in fact, I don't think I've ever seen this done on a channel.
Right.
And suspenseful music.
So is this Michael who gave you all the slipcases or what?
Yeah,
I thought it was. Yeah,
he's given us plenty of stuff in the past, but this is a bit different.
Right.
We'll say it's unboxing with a twist. You'll find out what that is next week. So stay.
So when you mentioned the box of the lights, I thought it was Patrick Troughton here somewhere. I'm going back a few years here, the late 80s.
Yeah. But no, it was great to speak to Michael actually yesterday. You know, when you go on and say, "Can I have a quick chat with you for half an hour?" And 3 hours later, you're still talking. You know, it's that. But it's great to see you.
Well, that's why this stream is only going to go for an hour, because if it went on any longer than that, I'll probably put you to sleep if you're not already asleep already. And I could talk for England on cinema show, but I don't want to Don't want to bore you to death.
No, I don't think that's going to happen in one way.
But I do appreciate the nice comments. Like I say, it's nice to be here. And rock with nerves, what you make me feel very comfortable. So thank you.
I tell you what, by the end of it, you'll not have any nerves at all. Are you starting to get easier with it?
Hopefully.
When you see more, right?
All right, okay.
So we've got Forgotten World of Movies, Andy. Afternoon, guys. Afternoon, Andy.
Hi, Andy. All right.
Top bloke. Brian, I Miss You, Hugs and Kisses Blu-ray is out in the USA by Severin.
That's right. It is. Yeah, that's the one.
Are you getting that, John?
No, I've never fancied. That's the one with Summer. Was it directed by, was it Murray Markowitz?
I wouldn't know
1978. I could be wrong about that, mind you. I remember the VHS cover. No, sorry, that's Let Me Die a Woman. I do apologise. I've got the wrong film there. But yes, Severin are doing the Blu-ray. Not Mighty so I think I've never fancied that. So I really can't comment on a film I've never seen. But as I was telling you earlier on, I had pre-ordered the Severin Umberto Lenzi's Thomas Millian cop thriller box set. You know, I think it's about this 8-disc set with the films and the CD soundtrack. Lovely package. I mean, it costs a bomb, but it's worth it. You know,
the CD soundtrack would be worth it because I love the CD, the soundtracks on Italian movies in general.
Well, that's it. I mean, when you think of all the great, these great composers, I mean, well, there's that many. Claudio Simonetti is probably one of my favourites. You've got Silvio Cipriani and Francesco De Masi and all these great composers.
Riz Ortolani.
Yeah. Well, Pino Donaggio, Goblin, Giorgio Gasolini. Who was the guy?
Sergio Leone.
Sergio Leone.
Yeah. Who was the one who did the theme tune? Demis Roussos did it for Night Train Murders. Was that a famous? Was that Riz Ortolani? Do you think? Because that song is wild. That song.
If it wasn't him, it might have been Riz Ortolani. What was your name? It was either Riz Ortolani or Pino Donaggio. I think I could be wrong. It's been a long since I've seen it. But there was Nico Fidenko. He was another one. I mean, there's not many different. I mean, for me, I think personally, I prefer like I say Simonetti in Goblin.
Yeah.
Even though Simonetti was a member of Goblin, But I think especially during the 80s when you had those great Italian soundtracks, I mean, like Demons, Demons 1 and 2, I love those soundtracks. And that was a Fabio Frizzi who did the Fulci ones. That was who I was trying to think of.
Yeah. Very good stuff he put out. And he's done he's remixed the soundtrack to Zombie or something. Is that right?
I'm not sure. Have you seen the LP you can get in the HMV? Which it's like have you seen the
box set with
the Graham Humphreys cover and all the classic Italian horror soundtracks?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
If it'd be a CD, I would have had that by now. But it's.
I mean, I can play it. I've got my record player, but it's. I've got to get that looked at. So we've got
Cut and Run.
Undead Sickly 3. Cut and Run is his third jungle adventure cannibal film. Most people refer to that one because it's the only one that has no animal films. Yeah. There will be films will release that in the near future. Yeah, I remember watching that on. It was obviously called Cannibal Holocaust 2.
Yeah.
So I saw that one thing. Oh, well, I can't see Cannibal Holocaust. I see that. I thought it was garbage because it wasn't that extreme. But obviously your mindset changed after that.
Well, it depends which cut you see, apparently, because I think with Cut and Run there's two different edits. I think at the start there's a massacre at the start of the film, and I think one edit is gorier than the other. Right. I mean, I think when I think of Cut and Run, I can't think of the old Medusa VHS cover. I mean, on Michael Berryman with the blade, great cover.
That weird blade, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's like, it's and I remember, him being, I think, he played a character called Quecho. I think that's his character, Quecho, they call him in that. But I remember him, and I remember watching your cut version, the Anchor Bay DVD, I think, years ago. And I think this is when John Steiner's character, when he meets a grizzly, and I won't say how, but that's quite, whoa, when you watch that,
Well, to be honest, you could tell it, you tell the VHS was cut. It wasn't cut well. You could see them go, then nothing. Yeah. And you thought there's a definite cut there.
But that's not. Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, like I say, I still prefer Jungle Holocaust because that was back from that particular period, and it just looks, because it's a wider film, it just looks more theatrical, and I think it's just a more interesting film than Cannibal Holocaust. I'll be honest with you.
76, that one.
I think it is. Yeah, that's the one with is it Mimi Lies in that one? I think she is. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Is what's his name in it as well?
Robert,
who's just died.
no, he was in Eating a Lot. No, Robert Kerman. It's Majimo Foshi who's in Jungle Holocaust and Ivan Razumov.
Yes.
I think Robert Kerman, he's in Cannibal Holocaust, but he's also in Eating Alive as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. He's in that one.
They all sort of blend into one, don't they? When you think about them. I'll just get them up there. I don't want to lose any comments. You see. Plus, I'm trying to do this without putting glasses on, which is difficult for me. So, Koroshe Ishi, Koro, you all right? Hello to both of you and everyone in the chat. All right, Koro. Sophie says, always try to be nice. I can be sarcastic at times. Just ask Jason. Do you know Jason Brett at all? Because that's,
you mentioned Jason, once or twice,
That's Jason's better half, is Sophie.
All right.
Otis Film, hope you're both doing well. Great to see you both. Yes, well, thanks for coming along, Otis, and it's great to be here after all this time. And I'm hoping this is going to be a bit more regular.
I absolutely hope so.
If we can get together earlier, and we can, like a day off, and we can start this one a bit earlier on, but coming for a bit longer.
Fair enough.
Yeah, okay. So that would be
nice to hear from you, Otis, by the way, as well. I hope you're having a great day.
Yeah. And Liam F. Hello, John. Hope you're well, mate. Hi, all. So, hello, just kind of flick around a bit.
Yeah.
Can't wait for your next video on Nasty's live stream, John. When are we on section? Are we on section 3? No, it's still section 2. The next live stream is going to be the Evil Dead special.
Oh,
and that's going
right.
to be, that's going to be with Nige, obviously, and Michael Ritchie.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got the most insane collection of Evil Dead stuff you've ever seen in your life.
Sounds good to me.
It's stuff that you think you can't possibly own that. He's got it.
He's got it.
You're talking about, stuff from the actual film.
Yeah.
You see on the film.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really? That's good. Yeah. Oh,
things that you don't even think existed.
Yeah.
This is
what they do.
Oh, yeah. But he's got them.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it at that. I'll give it weight. Mm-hmm. Obviously, even if I told you the things I know about, he's probably got another 1,000 things that I don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
But say, like, for instance, like the VHS, he's got all of the VHSs that got released of the Evil Dead on pre-cert. The whole lot. Yeah. Betamax. Even ones that weren't released.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Well,
ones that were like pre-released that were going to go to the shops.
Well, they preview
this
video or something like that. Yeah.
They've never even got the thing. He's got all them. So that's a fraction.
And the thing is, when you get that kind of fan who has that kind of passion towards a certain kind of film or certain kind of genre, and they make that kind of effort to obtain those kind of items, you can't fault somebody like that.
Well, me and Nige we had a video live stream, and we sat for about an hour after the stream. He showed us through some of his collection, and we just said, "This is weirdly enough, the Evil Dead is coming up as a title." So I said, "Look, why don't we get to the Evil Dead and just make the next stream part 2, section 2, part 2, all about live Evil Dead?" Now, I could have done it the other day, but I known that it would have been in the middle of shifts and all that, and I had to sort of cut it off a bit. So I want this one to run for quite a while, which it will do. So I'm looking at a type of day at this point to get that, so all fresh as a daisy to go into this madness as Evil Dead. So that'll be coming up quite soon. I keep saying that, but it's definitely on the way. But section 3 is a mile off yet, actually.
Well, the first time I ever saw Evil Dead, I don't think I've ever told you this, I must have been about 10, 11 years old, right? I was young and stupid. Nowadays, I'm just stupid. And I remember I had a relative who lived across, in the same street as me, across the road. He used to hire videos out from the shop, copy them, and circulate those copies amongst the neighbours in the street. And word got back to me that there was this great film called The Evil Dead. You had to see. Everybody was talking about it at the time, which unsurprisingly. And me being young and brash and full of bravado, I was advised by a neighbour. My parents were told I advised, don't let your kids watch this film.
Yeah.
Of course, me being me, I thought, no, I'm not going to be scared. I can take this, And it was a Friday night. That was me, my younger brother, 3 years younger than me, and my dad, all in the sitting room watching The Evil Dead. So far, so good. I wasn't worried. Wasn't afraid. But then when the shower possession scene kicked in, boy, was I wrong. And was I wrong, because the scene when, as soon as she starts talking in his mother voice, Jack of diamonds, Jack of clubs, and she turns around at the window. and you see her face, that was when, whoa, well, I've let myself in for here. And anyway, I was a bit freaked out at that. But what really did it was when, when she falls down and, she's feeling unconsciousness, Ash gets closer, goes out with Trisha, and then won't know what happens next, bam, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
And I remember, when she, flies back up on her feet, she's going, she's shuffling, she's got that hideous grin, she's got the pencil in her hand, and she's going, she's going to kill Bruce Campbell. And just the rumble on the soundtrack, the music, the way Ellen Sandweiss is acting, and that just freaks me and my brother right out. We just turned our backs on the TV there and then, and we're said to me, Dad, on my knees, I'm not kidding you, this is straight up. We turned around.
Davy's younger than you, isn't he?
He's 3 years younger, yeah. And we said, Dad, turn the video off. Can't watch the rest of it. Turn the video off. And we were frightened out of our wits. And even my dad was whistling up the stairs as he went to bed the same night. Where they turned the passage lights off. He's going up the stairs whistling, And the next day, Saturday, it was a sunny, warm Saturday afternoon. Brought a few of the kids in the same street over, and we all sat in the sitting room together and watched the second half, the rest of the Evil Dead from that scene onwards.
Yeah.
And we thoroughly enjoyed the rest of it. Yeah, we still got scared from time to time, but it was the amount of just the violence and the gore, and it was such an entertaining film. And after that, once we got over that initial hurdle of seeing the film for the first time, and once you were tuned to where the scares were, then it was a case of I can't wait to watch a film again. I can't wait to watch a film again. And I've seen it umpteen times over the years, and I think the thing is, it's one of those films when you're younger, you just appreciate, the scare factor or the violence or the gore. You don't appreciate the really visuals of the film, the camera work and the use of sound and how it's all edited together. Yeah, it's a flawed film, but it's for how young Sam Raimi was at the time, and
definitely.
You can't deny that the passion and the resourcefulness Sam Raimi, well, not just Sam Raimi, but the rest of the crew brought to that film. To me personally, it's one of the great examples of low budget filmmaking where you can see people have really put their heart and soul into it and made the most of the money. I mean, Deadly Spawn.
Yeah,
there's another one. That's
actually Deadly Spawn. I haven't seen that for yonks, but I will check that out recently. I know it's got a 4K, it's got a 2K Blu-ray, but it's meant to be a bit not the best, but it's not a movie I think could ever look the best. It's that low budget, but it shows you that the whole. You get this. As you say, you knew if someone said to you at that point, this bloke's going to be on to be a superstar director, you said, well, I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Well, with The Evil Dead, when you think about it, that film had been in the hands of somebody who wasn't as visually inventive as Sam Raimi. It could just be like a load of rubbish, just like any other sort of pretty much awful movie at the time. But his eye, his visual sense really shone through in that film. And for me, it's probably the same for a lot of Evil Dead fans. It's the best of the Evil Dead movies. It always will be for me, because it was the first film that really truly scared me as a kid. I think after that it was the Sentinel 1977, the Michael Winner film. The dead dad in the bedroom scene. I think that scene even now sends a shiver. It sends a shiver up my spine even now.
John Carradine.
Yeah. Eva Gardner, Christopher Walken's in a small role as well.
Is he now?
Eli Wallach's in it as well.
Wow. So says John P. It was like a 8-hour stream with Jason, wasn't it? Yes, it was. It was my first ever stream I did. On a stream, I got invited on Jason's stream, and it lasted for 8 hours.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it didn't feel like it's. I tell you what, if we'd done 8 hours now, you wouldn't look back and say, "Well, that felt like 8 hours."
You think I last 8 hours?
Well, I didn't think I would last 8 hours. I've done 2 of them, 2 8 hours, but it's the next day.
Yeah.
It's just the thing after it, the aftermath.
Come to think about it, Undead, I think it does ring a bell what you mentioned about Wes Craven. And when you think about it, it doesn't really seem like the kind of film he would sort of make, like a Cannibal film. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Wes Craven. I mean, I like a select few of his films, but I wouldn't really put him in. I know most people do, but I wouldn't really put him in the same bracket as like a Cronenberg, Carpenter, Romero, that sort of thing. And I think there's a tendency to put Craven in that, in with those directors. Personally, I wouldn't really go that far. I mean, I do like some of Craven's stuff, but I'm not one of these completers who has to watch every film every director makes.
Yeah.
But no, it does seem to ring a bell what you said, But yeah,
because that question there from Undead 683 was, that's because Cut and Run was originally going to be directed by none other than Wes Craven. Mm-hmm. He left the project very early, so Deodato made certain changes. So yeah.
Nice to see. Nice to see you got Brian. Nice to see you got Violence in a Woman's Prison. $12.99. I paid full price for that when it first came out. I wish you held me horses now.
You never know though, because some of these movies have come out and disappear. So you think, do I want to go down the route of trying to find them when they're on print?
Yeah.
And that's when you get into that nightmare scenario. So you think, well, I paid 15 quid, but I know that I'm kind of done with it, and I don't need to ever look for it again. Because how many times have you got summit, and then you might find out, hey, have you got such and such? And you go, yeah. Oh, it's worth 50 quid. No, you're only joking, aren't you? You're not just getting HMV, but it's that's not a thing. Where you never, if you knew which ones were going to stay in print, you would have the luxury.
That's the trouble.
And say, I'll get them in a sale.
That's the thing. Some of these things come and go, and some of these things are around forever. I mean, look at Arrow's original Battle Royale box set. That one which was supposed to be limited, but it was in print for an eternity.
Well, probably, limited to 3 million.
If you can call it limited.
That's what it was, wasn't it? It was always there. It was not because you thought, I've got to buy it.
Still got mine.
So we've got Play Tendo guy, Pete. Says, afternoon, guys. Afternoon, Pete.
Hi, Pete. You all right? Hope you're doing okay.
And Undead 683 also says, I did an in-depth review on Syndicate Sadist about 10 days ago. I love that film, actually.
It's not bad, actually. I remember, I think, it's got a good soundtrack, and I love the shot at the end of the film where Million's on his bike. Yeah, and it's like the point of view shot is really zooming it through the fields and that, and it's
one of those movies, one of the first ones I got in the 88 collection. I thought, what's this? I'm not really that keen on this type of movie. And when I put it on, I thought, wow, I've got to see more of this. Especially, that's the first time I probably checked him out and thought he's seriously a decent actor.
The thing is with Lenzi was, I think I've said before, when people think of Lenzi, I think generally people think of Lenzi, it's that guy who did the Cannibal movies, but Lenzi himself never liked being known as he preferred to be known as a director of Jolly and Cop Villas, because that was where he shone as a director. Yes, he did other kind of films like war movies and Cannibal movies, but he always preferred to be known as a director of Jolly and Cop Villas, because again that was what he was best at. He only really did the Cannibal films because they were in fashion.
And he sort of jumped on the bandwagon, touched it.
Well, everybody was, bar Fulci,
Then again, he did actually make the first one, didn't he?
Deep River Savages,
he started all off in the first place.
I mean, to be honest, I like to see, as I've said before, my three favourites are Cannibal Apocalypse, Jungle Holocaust, and Cannibal Ferox. Yes, I've seen other ones like Prisoner of the Cannibal God and Cannibal Holocaust, that sort of stuff. Deep River Savages, Eaten Alive, and you can watch them, but I don't come back to them as much as I would come back to the
Deep River Savages. I thought it was much more of a love story. Strangely enough to say that, than you would expect. I thought it wasn't, but it was actually.
Well, it is sort of like a Cannibal version of A Man Called Horse, so to speak. Not that I've seen A Man Called Horse, but I know what it's about.
All his trials and that.
Yeah, and that was Ken.
So Mark Stewart there says, have any of you two Johns seen Halloween Ends? I got it the other day. Well, I've got it, but I haven't watched it. But I've watched we're talking about the start.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm going in with that, knowing a lot of people say a lot of bad things about it. They did say about Halloween Kills, and I really enjoyed that. I'm just going to go in and it is what it is, and just see if I can enjoy it. But I only watched the first 20 minutes. Not until then, I really enjoy it.
Well, I think with me,
anything about it.
I think, as I said before, I think I gave up on Halloween film after Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and that's going back well over 30 years. And I think what done it for me was, yes, I caught Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween 6, but as they just got progressively worse. And after number 6, I thought, forget it. So I basically went back and watched Halloween 3 again. Now, I hate, like a lot of other people, I believe you did, I hated the film when I was a kid.
Oh, hi.
But when I watched it again, with an older frame of mind, an older pair of eyes, I much more enjoy that film a lot more. Not as a true Halloween movie, but it's like if you try and separate it and watch it as a horror film in its own right, try and watch it like that, and try and forget about. Try not to think of it as an entry in the Halloween franchise, even though it is. And I enjoyed it a lot more. But after that, I mean, I'll be honest, I've never even seen the Rob Zombie Halloween films, you know, so I couldn't possibly comment on
the first one's not so bad. The second one's atrocious. It really is. I can't believe how he did such a bad one after doing a reasonably good one. That's my opinion. I know there's meant to be a bit of a remix or a recut of Halloween 2, which is meant to be much better.
Right.
The Rob Zombie one, but wow, it was awful.
I mean, let's face it. You're never going to improve upon the Carpenter original. You know, that's the prototype, isn't it? You know, that was one which basically that's the best. You know, no matter which way you slice it.
And even I kind of half preferred Halloween 2 at the time because it was more gory. Looking back on it, Halloween 1 is the best because it's just the most perfect.
It's like very just slickly made.
It's a well done movie, and the other one is well done, but it's a bit more gore, which doesn't necessarily help it more.
Well, if you
in a touch.
Well, look at the first Halloween. The first Halloween, Carpenter's Halloween, isn't really. It's not a gore fest.
No.
Yes, I mean there's violence in it. Excuse me, there's violence in it, but it's not a gory film. It's a bit like somebody who watches the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and says, "Well, you see people being chainsawed to bits and blood and guts and things being cut up." No, you don't.
Yeah.
Yes, there's people get massacred in it. Yeah, but you don't see. There's not buckets of blood all over the place. No, it's not like that. You know, but some people will say that. Well, look at these kind of movies that way. You know, but both those films, Halloween and Chainsaw, they are quite viscerally restrained movies. Yeah, you know. I mean, to be honest, we actually quite enjoyed the remake of TCM, the one from 2003. I think it was
Jessica Biel.
Yeah. I watched it. I quite enjoyed it. I would have liked to have known what Chas Balin, the American horror fan, horror genre critic. I would have loved to know what he thought about it before he died. You know, because he was a massive fan of the original Chainsaw. He was like totally revered, by him. So I would have loved to thought I heard his opinion on the remake, but personally I enjoyed it.
We've got 4K Michelin star movies here. That's Martin Geary. Afternoon, guys.
Hi, Martin. You okay?
And Sophie says, "Yeah, you got that right. I'm the better half." Yes, I had to say that, Sophia. You beat us up, and we're hopefully going to get together. Channels in the future, meet up in a certain area. I'll not say too much in it but would like to get that become a thing this year.
Well, with that, say if you get together, the time together, by all means, I'm up for it. But I think Ken Carlson that's news to me.
Carlson, you guys looking forward to the Bruce Lee 4K set coming from Arrow this summer?
I mean, I don't know if it's a US or UK release. I can only assume from a UK perspective, the rights to Bruce Lee's movies must have run out by Medium Rare. So I would have thought it would have been a toss-up between Arrow, Eureka, Criterion, or 88 Films who would have jumped in to get the rights to those films, because I mean they would sell. Bruce Lee's movies have been selling for way back when, But I've got the Medium Rare box set, which is 4K masters from several years back. But I was thinking, it's only a matter of time before that license runs out, and then somebody else is going to be straight in there. So it looks like it's Arrow in this case. Thanks for the heads up, Ken.
As much as I actually rate them very highly, I do think the skimped on, the box for the set is flimsy.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
I think if someone comes along with they will come along with a better set.
Rigid slipcase.
I think that's what you need for Bruce Lee, because he is Bruce Lee, isn't he? There's not that much, so you get a whole lot in one go. And then was it? One of my favourite films is
Enter the Game of Death.
Enter the Game of Death.
Educated guess, by the way.
Not Enter the Game of Death. I mean, although I think that's brilliant. Is that Bruce Lee?
Bruce Lee or Lee? Yeah, Ellie. Lee or Lee.
Yeah, and it's not as bad as Dragon Lee, but it's Game of Death 2.
I love Game of Death 2.
I
love Game of Death 2.
We're both. I mean, I remember when you sort of like you said, have you seen Game of Death 2? I said, you don't, aren't you? Game of Death. So no, it's a sequel, after fashion. So we put it on one day, didn't he? He says, I'll tell you what, I thought was amazing. And then, it's such a good movie. I mean, it's Bruce Lee's in it for about 10 seconds, but that didn't take anything.
And even that's not really him, except for some other films. But
does it have him at the start, drones from it, and I think that's it.
Yeah, no, it's well, yeah, it's outtakes. I think it's outtakes from Enter the Dragon at the start, and then I think the rest of the film is just like clips from the other films all patched together.
Yeah.
But I love the end fight between the late Kim Tai-chung and Wang Zhongli. I mean, Kim Tai-chung was doubled by Yuen Biao as well. You can see Yuen Biao do some of the acrobatics, so if you're watching, you can see him doubling there. But it's a great fight. Some of Wang Zhongli's facial expressions are hilarious because like sometimes he goes like when he's been attacked, it's so funny. Some of the looks on his faces. But what I love that line in Game of Death 2 where at the end where Wang Zhongli he says, "I might be a kung fu expert, but I need cash. Drug trafficking was my answer. Now I can live in luxury forever." It's so funny the way it comes out.
It's labyrinth that he's got.
Yeah,
you've got to go through the sort of with the lasers and all that. It's nuts, isn't it?
Well, that's it. You've got to fight his way through several fighters before you get to him at the end. But no, if you haven't seen that, Game of Death 2, great entertainment.
But I tell you what, it's excellent news. I mean, it had to be coming out sometime, didn't it? Because there's that many 4Ks masters flying about of it. Yeah. But it's so Arrow. Well, no doubt with Arrow, the artwork will be exceptional. And hopefully the box set will be rivaling Showscope. You never know.
Yeah, well, that's I wouldn't be surprised on Arrow, But Sophie, I do tend to keep an eye on those network sales myself because I picked up a few bargains recently for them as well. They do get some good stuff in those sales,
Get some good movies on network.
They do actually. I mean, to be honest, I wish they'd do a lot more on Blu-ray. I mean, I wish they released stuff like the Porridge film, the Porridge movie on Blu-ray. I've got the Lightly Lads and I've got the Sweeney ones. I wish they'd do like Rise and Damp on Blu-ray and that sort of stuff. Just those great old
Steptoe and Son.
Yeah, exactly. Those British comedy classics. Way back in the good old days. But yeah, network do some good sales. I picked up a few stuff in there recently, like Tales from the Unexpected, Armchair Thriller, that sort of thing.
That used to frighten the life out of me. Armchair Thriller.
It's the opening with the chair.
Yeah,
I know that. I remember that.
The chair and the burn. Is it like it's a picture burning?
It's like a shadow or something like blood and stuff, something like that. But either way, it was really sort of
really freaked me out.
Whoa. But it was. I got that, and I got the Rivals of Sherlock Holmes as well, which I thought I'd give it a go. It didn't sound too bad. And just a few other bits and bobs, but yeah, network sales well worth keeping an eye out for.
And Undead 6 says, "Have you seen the trailer for Evil Dead Rise?" Looks like the Evil Dead movie has been waiting. Looks like the Evil Dead movie I've been waiting for. Hopefully, it'll make me forget the horrible remake. That's just my subject opinion.
Well, I've got to be honest. I mean, I don't like the title, Evil Dead Rise. To me, it's like Rise isn't like a high rise. That's my guess. I've seen the trailer, looks pretty good. I've never seen the remake, so I can't comment on that. But to be honest with you, I do fancy seeing Evil Dead Rise when I get a chance to see it. God only knows. But I like the poster where it's got the mother, cuddling the kid, and you can tell by the mother's face she's a deadite, But
the remake, I didn't like it one bit. But what I did was, I got off Michael Ritchie. He sent me the unrated cut.
Right.
And to be honest, it's like a different movie. So if you're ever going to see it, see the unrated. You've got to get it because the flavour or the tone of it is much better. The other one seems. I mean, me and Matthew watched it when he was. You've seen Matthew today. What? Yeah. I mean, you've known Matthew since he was like not born.
Oh yeah.
So
he's got that size, and
he's like the Hulk now, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
But, he's a massive Evil Dead fan. But we were watching it when he was youngish. And he was just laughing at it. It was just stupid. But I've told him to get the unrated director's cut to watch it before he watches Evil Dead Rise. Because me and him are going to go to the cinema to see that. So yeah. Well,
soon all of them will be like me, and we will lock you up in the cellar.
Exactly. Yeah. Is there any cellar in the high rise though? That's the thing. You can't really do a cellar in the high rise apartment because there's somebody underneath there.
Well, I think the thing is, you can try and see what I'm trying to do is try to take the evil away from the woods and into the city, which I don't think is a bad idea, and again, I think the thing is with me with Evil Dead, the good thing is with the first Evil Dead, it is like hardcore horror. Yes, some people say it's a black comedy. I can understand, I can see why they would say that, but you can see the comedy elements much more in Evil Dead 2, and even more so in Army of Darkness, which to be honest, I think the comedy element was overdone. But the good thing is with Evil Dead Rise, it looks like they've ditched the comedy and they've kept it. They went back to hardcore nastiness, so hopefully that's what we're going to get. So I will see it sooner or later, so no doubt about that.
Admit, though, my favourite part of that trailer is where the woman's at the spy cameras, open up now. I just think that's, it's been like, we're going to get you. It's a bit like the line that you need for that film, groovy.
Yeah.
It just, that to me come across like that's the word or the phrase for this movie, maybe.
Or could have been Ring the Bell there. Daylight calling, something like that, but no, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Hopefully it'll be a success and be a bit of a shot in the arm. Try and generate a bit more interest in like more Evil Dead movies.
Well, I think it probably could, because if they hit it right and hit it at the time where maybe people are coming into cinema not knowing about these type of movies and they're thinking, right, and then it progresses. It doesn't go too far and go a little bit stupid. Like Evil Dead 69, and they think like, oh yeah, excuse me, I don't need the previous 60. But yeah.
Well, there was a guy at work, I remember several years ago, a younger guy, much younger than me, middle late 20s. And he saw the Evil Dead. I remember telling me, he told me, he says, he thought it was a terrible film, awful film. Which I can see that viewpoint from a younger person. They're going to look at the graininess of the film, and the low budget atmosphere of the film, and they're going to think, well, a load of rubbish. But to me, likes of us, we can see the fact of a lack of money didn't stop Raimi and co, making the most of that budget and really delivering something, extra on shoestring. It's a generational thing.
If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't.
It's a bit like Jaws. If you watch Jaws and you think, well, the shark looks a little rubbish. Well, of course the shark looks a little rubbish. This was the best it could do in 75.
It's rubber.
It didn't have CGI back then, and you've got
to. Better for it.
But exactly, you've got to try and understand the generational difference you have between films. I believe some people now complain about the early Bond films where James Bond used to treat women, basically, go from one woman to another. Women being made to look quite like subservient,
Oh yeah.
But that was where things were back then, and I believe some young people these days take offence to that. But if that's the so be it. That's how you feel. But you have to bear in mind this was some time ago, and
that's right.
It's a generational thing,
Yeah. Sophie says Evil Dead Rise comes out the day before my birthday in April. So me and Jason are going to have a date night there.
Hope you have a lovely time, both of you.
I'm sure you will. With going to watch one of the greatest films ever on your date night. But Liam F says classic films, Evil Dead, still my favourite still. Or Evil Dead 2, my favourite still. Yeah, a lot of people. I used to prefer Evil Dead 2 for a long time. I go between them. It depends on how I feel. But I do think that to me, Evil Dead had the most impact in my life than the other ones had. But Evil Dead 2 is more or less like a better version of the Evil Dead, better crafted version of the Evil Dead in a fashion. It's more like a remake, isn't it?
I still think one of the funniest moments in that film is it's because if you listen to the commentary, if I remember right, Scott Spiegel is creased with laughter during the scene. It's the part where Danny Hicks accidentally, he's it's just trying to help him, but just causing him more suffering than enough.
Yeah,
and get the X, I'll kill it when it comes back. And she's dragging him along the floor. And I can't breathe. And every time she tries to help him, she just seems to cause him more damage.
Oh, he doesn't do any favours.
It's the black comedy element. You just can't help it. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And now, when I was a kid, and I first saw that, I never picked up on that. But no. I mean, just thinking about it, as you can see, it's not. But if I remember rightly, I had the blood red vinyl Laserdisc back in the 90s, and I remember listening to the commentary, and I'm sure during that scene, Scott Spiegel is. He can't help himself. He's just creased with laughter, and you can see why, But yeah, I mean, I remember when I first saw Evil Dead, when it first came out in the gold coloured big box Palace video release, the wonderful Graham Humphreys artwork, which beats the American artwork by a mile.
Did you know, just a button very quickly? Mm-hmm. Graham Humphreys?
Yeah.
One of the things that Michael Witchy's got, how there's the picture of, I'm writing, I'm seeing this is the actual, in the She's in the cellar. She's looking out the cellar.
Yeah.
There's a picture of Michael Ritchie's face doing that,
Right.
painted by him.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've got that right.
All right.
Can you imagine that's happening? Him, Graham Humphrey's doing it for him.
I can imagine it'd be quite like an honour. That, you know,
Well,
quite.
Yeah. So that's the flavour of what I didn't realise until he told us. I said, what actual he did it.
That's quite impressive to know. Yeah. Actually, you know, but I remember seeing it when I was a kid, and big box, gold colour Palace VHS release, and that was Friday night. Yeah, great cover Friday night. And I just remember falling in love with the film there and then. Now, I will be honest with you, I must have been around 13, 14 at the time when that film came out. And I remember reading about it in the video magazines at the time, so I used to collect those magazines. I wish I never got rid of them. And again, so I was more ready up to see the film. I enjoyed it. I loved it when I was a kid. And the last time I saw it, I think it was sometime last year, when it was on the horror channel, Zone Horror, whatever you call it now anyway. I caught it last time there, and I have to be honest, okay, sacrilege, you're probably going to cry, but you know, that's the way I feel.
What's your comments change?
I enjoyed it, but not quite as much as I did when I was a kid. Yes, it was still great to watch. There was still some moments which I love, you know, like even now we happy about darling Linda's soul. She suffers in torment. You're going down, you know, and it just, you know, I love that bit there because you expect to find like a kind of line in a Rocky movie. You're going down. You don't expect to find it in an Evil Dead movie, but it was, I still enjoyed it, but it not quite as much when I was a kid, you know. But The Evil Dead is one film which I'll always have a love for. You know, I can watch The Evil Dead now and still enjoy it. You know, the way I did when I was a kid. You know.
Actually, you're right there.
I think it's one of those films which you don't grow tired of. But like Jaws, you know, go back to Jaws. You know, that's the kind of effect it has on me. Right. You know,
there's some films you can run out of watches for. Say, like a movie I was talking about this a while ago. Terminator 2 was like a movie that I watched incessantly. Yeah. And then I get to the point where I think I'm not enjoying this as much. I think I've seen it enough times. I've had a huge gap between watching it the next time. I haven't watched it again for a long time. But sometimes you get that feeling when you've watched a film enough for a bit. Yeah. You take a step back for it. Yeah. So I think we're up. Teabags there. Hello lads. Hope all's well. Evil Dead, such fun. I haven't seen the sequels yet, but I've heard they're mad but great. Is that the sequels to the Evil Dead?
Let's have a look. I would imagine it would be the sequels. Yeah, I mean,
you're in for a treat because I think they're all good.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, don't get like Evil Dead 2. You know, Army of Darkness. It's something to enjoy in them both. Yeah, I mean, you know, certainly. I mean, to my mind, yes. I mean, they got progressively more comedic and less gory as time went on. But that was, you know, that was the way they wanted.
Have you seen the Evil Dead yet?
I've got the box set. The TV. There's only 3 seasons. I know I've got the box set. I brought in the seal. Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. Oh,
well, you showed me clips of the pilot episode way back when it was when it first came out.
It's absolutely brilliant and so over the top. So Cheekster 777 says thank you, John and John. Thank you.
Okay, thanks Cheekster. Hope you're doing okay then, mate.
Liam F. Deadly Spawn fun video was great. Distributor.
Vipco.
Oh, Vipco, sorry.
Yes. Yeah, that was. Yeah, again, that takes me back.
The teeth.
The teeth that takes me back happier times as well. Can I tell you when? It was back in about 84, 85. Again, I was only about, I don't know, 11, 12 years old. It takes me back to a much happier time. One which I don't want to forget, but we'll go. That's another conversation another time. Anyway,
the stream.
We moved from. The same, it was a Saturday. We moved from a place I love living in for many years when I was a kid. I spent the best years of my life in Gosforth, and we moved elsewhere on the estate. And it was like I say, it was a Saturday. We were getting moving all the furniture and what have you, And if I remember rightly, the Deadly Spawn was the very first video we rented to watch in our new home, which was a second floor flat. Sorry. Also saw Shogun Assassin, I think, for the first time as well, I think, at the time. But there was a video shop just up the road on the corner. And the same day, I just, Dad, will you join this shop? I just want to get some videos out. And that was on the shelf. I just remember seeing the black Vipco cover, the teeth, like you say. And when you see that kind of cover, you've got to see that kind of film.
Yeah.
You go, oh, I want to see that. You don't know if it could be a masterpiece, it could be a load of rubbish. But that cover draws your attention straight away. And I remember enjoying the film then, and I enjoy it now. And I just hope, when we're going to see the Synapse 4K release of the Deadly Spawn, I've had this in the pipeline for years. When's it going to arrive?
We actually were talking about this, and I'm going to watch that soon, because I've been thinking about that movie just come in my mind, and I thought previous to this, and I thought I think that's due a long. I've only got the Arrow DVD, but it's all right. It's not bad. It's watchable, but I do need a better version.
Well, between the Arrow one and the Synapse one, you especially in terms of extras, you've got a fantastic package. I mean, jam-packed with great stuff. But again, when you watch the Deadly Spawn, you can see it's a case where, yes, we haven't got much money to play with, but we've got the right attitude.
Aye.
We've got a passion for what we're doing. And so we're going to make the money just as far as we possibly can. I mean, the special effects, old school special effects, generally they still look great. They still look great.
I think if you go in with a mindset to say, look, this isn't going to be the sort of Terminator 2 effects, it just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll get you through the fact that some of the effects are ropey, but there's an enjoyable movie behind it.
Well, that's
you can get a lot out of it.
Exactly, that's what I mean. It's a bit like, as I've said before, just digress, Manhattan Baby, the Fulci movie. Okay, now a lot of fans will think that's a little rubbish, but if you go into that film with a lesser expectation, you go into that film not expecting a typical Fulci Go Fest, but something lesser, something a bit, not quite on the same level, and you'll enjoy the film. I personally think it's great. It's the same thing where, like, a lot of low budget films, Deadly Spawn. Yeah, if you're watching a low budget film which was made with little money, without like high tech, big Hollywood gloss and all that sort of thing, that kind of polish. Nothing like that. If you go and watch expecting a film which is much more low key, much more low budget, but the passion's there, the resourcefulness is there, and knock yourself out. It's a great little film.
It is. It really is. Double bill movies, afternoon chaps. That's Trev. Afternoon.
All right, Trev. Hiya.
Yeah, all right. Happy New Year, John Hall. And
again, Happy New Year. You all the best for this year.
All the best, Trev. Liam F. Love Cannibal Apocalypse. Great movie that.
It is, and it's. I think it's nice to see Cannibal films set in the suburbs in the city, away from the jungles and that. I can't remember the last time I saw that film. I think the first time I saw that film must have been around 86. There was a little, like a news agent, run by an Asian gentleman who my dad was friends with at the time. And this guy let us Cannibal Apocalypse under the counter. Had a copy under the counter. It didn't have a cover. It was original cassette, but didn't have a cover.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, you're a good customer, Mr. Hall. There we go. You might want to watch this. I can't remember much about it at the time, so I couldn't have thought that much of it. And it wasn't until the early 90s when I got the bootleg VHS collecting craze, which was quite prevalent at the time. I bought a copy, from a backdoor dealer, and it turned out to be a cut copy, which I didn't really. Yeah. I suspected it was at the time, and it wasn't until I saw the DVD I realised I was shafted way back when. But never mind, it was a lesson we learned there. But I mean, it wasn't until I got the Image DVD, which was a great release for its time.
Yeah.
And then I moved on to the recent Kino Loba 4K master Blu-ray from 2 or 3 years ago. I'm hoping with it being Kino Loba, we'll see UHD really sooner or later. I'm confident we will, but obviously I can't say it for certain. But yeah, good film. Like I say, it's if you like Cannibal movies, give it a go.
So Brian says, John, in what way is the extended cut remake of the Hannibal, the Evil Dead, better than the standard version? Well, if in my opinion, me and my son both thought is that it seemed that there was no comedy in it, but it seemed that it was like he didn't take any of it seriously. I came out of it thinking that was like it missed all the mark for me. The feel of the movie was wrong. I personally felt that I was kind of let down by the gore was okay. Maybe it was a bit too much. The comedy was gone, so I thought, well, there's no humor in it, because there's humor in Evil Dead, and then they just lacks some. But weirdly enough, the way that they put this extra scenes in, I think it was only about 5 minutes. I think they sort of altered some things to it. It just flows really better. It's got a bit more of an identity, and it's really over the top. It's got it's much more gory, but I can appreciate it where I thought the other one was unnecessarily gory. This is that gore with more. But it's really weird. I don't ever want to go back and watch the UK version, the shorter version, because it just doesn't play right to me. This one here I hated that movie with a passion, but now I think it's really good. It's not as good as the other ones, but I do hold it in high esteem as a good remake,
right?
But only because of that cut. If it didn't have that cut, I would be saying the same thing. So for me, try it out, check it out, see what you think of it. Because if you're not a fan of it, or you think that one's all right, check this one out, and you'll see what I mean. It's hard to describe. There is extra scenes in it which make a little bit more sense, or turn it a little bit around. There's an ending scene which isn't in the first one, like a kind of different ending in a slight way, but it's good. It's for me, it's the only version I would watch. So it's a hard one to explain. It's just the feel of the movie feels more of an identity to it, if that's a description, I would say.
You know what I think when it comes to, when it comes to like director's cuts or extended cuts of films, I generally prefer longer cuts, but there are some films which are better in shorter versions, like Deep Red.
Yeah.
Now I prefer, I know other fans do, I prefer the shorter version because I think it's a faster moving film. When you cut out some scenes which really don't need to be there.
It's more humour, which doesn't really fly, does it?
Well, yeah, it's more like the battle of the sexes element between him and David Hemmings and Dario Nicolodi. When you think, well, you don't have to have it in there really. It just really drags the film out. But generally, I do prefer extended versions if I feel they're worth it. Which most of the time I think they do it. I think the longer version of Leon, which isn't, I believe Luc Besson prefers the shorter cut.
Does he?
I think he does, but the longer version, I think I probably prefer that one. But I think Besson prefers the shorter one. I could be wrong, but no, it just depends. I mean, if there's something, if the extra footage is worth it, then fine. If I think it drags the film out, too long, it's like the certain Hong Kong films.
Yeah, I know what you're saying that.
I can understand why they might cut out some of the comedy.
Yeah.
And I never used to think that way, but I do now. So if I was to watch, I don't know, one Hong Kong film or another, if they cut out certain comedy scenes, it wouldn't really bother me that much. So
like Peace Story used to be.
Yeah.
Every cut we used to get was always the shorter cut.
Yeah.
And then when you knew it was a longer cut, when you watched it, you think, "Oh, I bet there's more fighting," but it's not. It was more like sort of humorous little anecdotes, which kind of it made the movie falter in a way because it was less. Yeah. The action was like spaced out. It's
like Police Story with the scene in the office with the telephones. He's answering all the different telephones. Yeah. Again, I mean, I know it's meant to be like a comedic scene, but to me, it slows the film down. So again, it's nice to have it in. It's nice to have the longer cut, of course it is, but
well, they're both versions.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I prefer the shorter cut for Police Story.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer most of them actually because that's what I'm used to. But the Evil Dead one, it's a funny one because it doesn't add that much to it. And if I said to you, if I had to tell you which bits there are, I couldn't really say off the top of my head, apart from the ending. It's just the flavour. And I would imagine if you went home and watched the two in back to back, I know which one you would pick. It's just a much better movie, and that sounds a bit odd, but so this is going. So Trev says, Mr. Hall, did you get any physical media for Christmas? If so, what did you get? Well, this is now going to be a 9-hour stream.
Yeah,
take it away.
I didn't actually get any physical media for Christmas. I just I buy enough during the year.
You must have been a bad lad.
I don't need any more Christmas.
So Santa said. No chance.
No, I suppose I've been a bad boy this year. Wow. No, I buy that much, Trevor. I buy that much physical media during the year, and it costs me an arm and a leg. So really, by Christmas time, if you were to see the amount of stuff I've got, which I've not had a chance to watch.
Well, your family, could they actually buy you something you didn't have? Could they go in a shop and say, "I'll get him that one"? because they would never know, would they?
No, they
So
wouldn't
there's
know,
no-
because
there's no way they can buy anything.
that's why I would say, I appreciate the thought, don't get me wrong, but I can do more. If you want it, I don't expect anything for Christmas. I'm in the age now where I'm just happy for time off work. I'm not ungrateful for anything anybody buys me. God knows. Like I say, it costs nothing to be simple. But there's been times before when family members have got me something with the best intentions, of course, I understand that, but it's turned out to be completely useless. And I thought, well, I would have rather you save the money and enjoy yourself, with it, rather than,
I know what you mean.
But it's a thought that counts, and I'm not grateful for it, But
saying that though, if you were to recount everything that you got last year in physical media, it would be a 2-week stream, wouldn't it? There'll be a lot of stuff,
that's probably putting it mildly. Yeah, and I mean, I'm like everybody else. I mean, if there's something I see, I'm like a kind of candy store. All the big cut, boutique labels, 88 Arrow, Severance sign-ups, the ones, anything I fancy from them, I can't help it. It's like a drug, like a lot of other collectors.
It is. It's a good way of putting it.
I think especially Vinegar Syndrome, they've been on a roll lately.
They're just their stuff that they put out is just really is. It's like you think you've seen it all. You've seen one of their stuff, and you just get it, and you think, wow. Mm-hmm. And I mean, things that you get from them, you just they've got a different feel to them, haven't they? The slip covers, I don't know what they do with them. It's obviously a slip cover is made out of cardboard, but it is proper cardboard, not just like. It's
not flimsy. It tells us a bit of oomph,
It's like an actual. Well, it's a bit like what you would call with this one. I'm not sure that one actually, because that's part of a different video.
Right.
You
didn't see that, people. Okay,
you didn't see that one, did you? But there's a lot of here anyway, so you will have a good video when that gets put out. So there's a lot here, there's a lot there, there's a lot over there as well. So that might be a 9-hour video.
I do hope. Well, I do. Let me just say, I do hope we're all still awake. If I've bored you to tears, if I put you to sleep, I do apologise. I'm very sorry, but you must understand this is my first time, so it's all new to me. And I've wanted to do this for a while. Actually, truth be told, but it's been a case of getting the time between John and myself. We work different hours, so it can be hard to get the time together. To do something like this.
So how do you feel at this point? Do you feel like the nerves are starting to subside?
I do. I think I've come as far as I want to go for now. But I think next time, if I get a positive reaction, if I'm, like I say, bored you to tears, I'll put you to sleep. I'm quite happy to do another one. See if I can try and last a bit longer. Right. But the last thing I want to do, just let me see. The last thing I want to do here is waste anybody's time. If I wasted anybody's time here, I do apologise for that. But it's
no, John, you're coming on. You're coming on again. That's the end.
I don't feel like it, to be honest. I just feel like it, I don't know. Maybe it's just nerves kicking in. I just the way I am. You know what I'm like. I've always been this way. But it's. So
what we'll do now, we're going over the hour. What I'll do is I'll get through some of the comments. Yeah. Do that, and then we'll be calling it quits in about 10 minutes time.
That's absolutely fine. Yeah.
So Warp Art Studio, always love watching you guys. Wow.
Thank you.
As always, learning so much. Well, thanks a lot for that. I know I'll end up buying 2 or 3 films just watching this. Well, yeah. To be honest, I'm the same. When I go on the stream and someone mentions something, I go, oh, hang on, I'm writing it down. So I think that this is the thing of YouTube, what we talk about. And if you watch a video, I mean, look at that. We've just found out the Bruce Lee 4Ks are coming out with Arrow. Yeah. So that's an instant purchase.
That was a good heads up by Ken, so thank you for that.
But thanks, Warp Art Studio. We appreciate that.
Well, the way I feel, let's to refer to Blazer Saddles. Do you remember this? Steady as a rock. Yeah, but I shoot with that hand.
So that's how you feel. Well, yes, that's the Waco Kid. Yeah. So John Hall is the Waco Kid at the moment.
Yeah.
And Liam S says, I want to watch the Terrifier films sometime week ahead. Wow, I love them films. I thought they were absolutely brilliant.
Which films were they?
Terrifier.
Oh yes.
You haven't seen them, have you,
No.
John?
I've got the Australian. I've got the Australian slipcase, like double disc set on the way from Umbrella. That's a lovely package, that, by the way. Beautiful, that.
They could have made more of the one they put out for the UK. I know it's been hard to get, but it's just a bog standard. They should have really. They've got to come. The 4Ks have got to come out in the UK because it's been that much of a hit.
Well, let's be honest, it would have been Arrow 88.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You could only imagine what the package would look like.
Yeah, I do agree. Sinjin, afternoon, both John and John.
Oh, yeah, you all right?
All right, Sinjin. Liam F, the first 4 Halloweens are great. I like the first 5 Halloweens. After that, I'm not too sure. Sophie said, I did enjoy Season of the Witch. That bloody 5 days until Halloween song. Oh, done my nutting. It's London Bridge is falling down, isn't it?
Silver Shamrock. Actually, I mean, we're just make sure if anybody asks you if you want to check out final processing, just make sure you give them a wide berth.
That's
okay,
it.
For obvious reasons.
Try this mask on, don't do it. Brian, I bet there will be another Halloween come October 31st. I think there'll be more. I haven't even seen Halloween Ends yet, but I do think it's and she says that that's the one, Liam. It drove me insane. Dead Sick 83 says, I think Halloween 3 would have been received better back in then if they didn't have the Halloween title on it. Yes,
that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good call on that one. Yeah,
it would have been a cult classic. Yeah,
it's funny.
100% agree with that.
Yeah, I think if you just like you say, leave it just as the subtitle, and just try and remove any relevance to the Halloween franchise, and may well have been a better film.
Well, it's sick and us in the cinema when all my mates went in from school, like after school, and sat there and we thought this is going to be belted. And then I'm sure it come up on the screen. This film does not feature Michael Myers now, and hang on, and we were raging for the whole thing. We didn't even pay attention to the movie. Well, I do like it now.
But that's what happens, isn't it? When you mention Halloween 3, one thing which put money on somebody saying, well, that's the one Michael Myers' his name, which is it's true, But if you can try and put that to one side and just try and disassociate that with the Halloween franchise, think of it on its own, even though it isn't. It is. It's a watchable, enjoyable film.
Although he is in it, because he's on the screen, isn't it? They're watching Halloween on the
screen.
Yeah. Not that I even got that. I was too busy chucking popcorn at the screen at that point. Liam S says the goring is insane in Season of the Witch. Yeah, it does. It is new. And Liam S says Defo and Dead. I think it aged well. Yeah, I just think it's a great movie. It looks spectacular in 4K. Much better than I thought it would do. Trev says I watched Rob Zombie's remake of Halloween and found it much better than the John Carpenter Halloween. What? I think I preferred seeing the carnage and not just having it suggested. It is much more gory, but to be honest, I can't say that it's anywhere near Halloween.
I do have to be honest, though. In like Trev, I'm a bit like that. I do prefer to see what's happening instead of leaving it in the imagination. If other people feel that way, by all means, that's their opinion. They're entitled to feel that way. I've got no problem with that. Some people prefer to just imagine what's happening rather than see it. And sometimes that is less is more. Sometimes it does work.
Yeah.
For me, but I must admit, I'll be honest. For personally, most of the time, I like to see what's happening. I mean, if somebody's being chased by a monster or something like that, I like to see the monster. I don't like to see like when it's shot where you can't see anything. Yeah, I like to see it. I know in the case of like Jaws, it worked in favour because you don't see the shark properly until later on in the film, and I can get away with that.
First time you don't see the shark.
Well, that's it. Yeah, exactly. And it works in a film like that. But I'm more with Chev in that respect. Yeah, sometimes I don't. I can go without.
I can see that, but for Halloween, I wouldn't agree with that one personally.
I mean, like I said before, Halloween. Yeah, I mean, first Halloween, it's not a gory film.
It's quite tame.
Yes, it is. Yeah, but
I did prefer Halloween 2, I think, for that reason. But I've changed my mind and just thought it was a classic film.
Well, bearing in mind, Halloween 2 would have been less gory had Carpenter not shot the extra 2 murders. I think it's the needle in the eye and the nurse who gets scarlet. Yeah. No. Carpenter shot those 2, put them in to make the film nastier. I think he did anyway. So when you think about it, the film would have been tamer had those 2 scenes not been in.
Yeah. 4K Michelin star. Martin says, "Have you watched the new 4K Cannibal Holocaust yet?" I haven't, but we just put it on.
We checked it out earlier on. Funny enough.
So what did you think of the quality on that one, John?
Lovely. Yeah, lovely. I've never seen nothing better. I mean, again, I'm no expert on the technical side of UHD, Blu-rays, that sort of thing. What might look great to me may look awful to somebody more technically proficient. But I like what I saw. Look great to me. I've never seen look that good. I have the 88 films Blu-ray. I'm the book stops at Blu-ray for me. But the UHD looks superb. So no complaints.
So Sophie says, yeah, it need to sort out a date for the meetup. It's going to be a few select special people involved, so that I'm not coming. Hey, Brian, I'm going to see Wasp live as they are doing a full 80s blood and gore thing. Yes, I really want to go and see that one. Well, I've seen Wasp before, me and Deborah, and but they weren't doing the whole full-on blood and gore stuff, which they used to do in '84, but they're going to try and do that again. I'll be really interested to see how that works. I've always loved Wasp for whatever reason.
You know that I think you do know already, don't you? You know Blackie Lawless.
Mhm.
He was in Dungeon Master.
Yes, I do.
Rage War, the Charles Band film. Yeah, he's one of the segments in that.
Yes,
yeah.
And they're in that. Are they in that movie? The band as well.
The band, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. I'll tell you what. Like, I mean, I know he's a big bloke. When you see him in real life, he's a huge bloke. Like, he wasn't the biggest who was in the band. I think Chris Holmes was the biggest. He was about 7 foot, but he's a good 6.5 foot. And you just think, giant. And there was a fella in the audience. I've got a photograph of it somewhere. And you know when someone stands in front of you in the big, you just think, oh, can you not stand somewhere else? And at this point, you're on the flat floor in Newcastle, so you couldn't look over anybody.
Yeah.
It wasn't like slopey floor. This bloke coming. If I ever get this picture, I'll show you. I might show you on some video. He must have been 8 foot tall. And when you see this picture of the audience and this fella, he's like that.
Head and shoulders above everybody else.
And I said, please God, don't stand in front of me. And the bloke next to him was the spitting image of Paul Weller. Wasn't him, but everyone was going, Paul Weller were there. And he had the hair and everything.
So everything was a bit of a jam.
But tish. Yeah, it was.
I'm sorry, that was a very bad joke, wasn't it? Grown.
So Red Room Antics, hello. Hi, guys.
Hiya.
Has anyone seen the Discovering film series on Sky Arts? It's given me loads of new movies for my shopping list. Actually, I don't heard that.
I know the programme, I've never seen it. To be honest, I really should watch Sky Arts a bit more. They do have some good documentaries.
They do actually, right?
The last one, I mean, but I'm not watching Tales from the Unexpected. The last documentary I saw was the documentary on Ennio Morricone. It was on a few weeks back. That was quite good. I mean, I never got a chance to watch all of it.
You know, when I said Sergio Leone before, I was thinking Ennio Morricone. That's why you were looking as if to say what you're talking about.
It was good. No, it was good. It was a good documentary, but I think it was on 2 hours long or something. But I didn't have time to watch all of it. But I did watch the first half or something. But it's a good channel. I just wish I had a bit more time and opportunity to watch a bit more. And but so it's good call.
So Warp Art Studio rewatched Extra last night. 40
Oh,
years old, and it still terrified me.
I love it.
I love it.
It's
good.
To me, Extra and Phantasm, for that matter, they're very weird movies. Weird in a good way. There's so many peculiar, offbeat things happen, but it works for the film, not against the film. And again, Extra was one of those films I saw when I was a kid, and it just made quite impression. You know, the scene earlier on where they nearly won the alien over in the country lane, and how it's all like contorted. You know, it's quite
Was that a contortion that did that?
You know what it was? It was apparently it was a stuntman who was he was wearing the alien costume back to front, and he was in the crab position. Yeah. That's why if you watch it, you can see it. That's what it is. Yeah. But if you don't get a good look, you can't tell. But he's in the crab position, but he's wearing the suit back to front. That's why it looks odd, physically odd.
Yeah,
and it works. It works,
right.
But when I think of Extra, I think predominantly of a lot of things. But the action man scene, the live action man scene where he invades the home of the nosy neighbour, who was played by, she played Lou Beale in EastEnders, Anna Wing, I think it was.
Really, the older one.
I think it was Anna Wing.
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, think about it. What a great idea. You know, this kid brings his action man to life as a full figured like killing machine, and I just thought it was a great idea amongst many in the film. But like I say, phantasms like that as well, just weird, but
weird and unique.
Yeah, exactly.
Cheekster 77, Warner Brothers are of course releasing their own 4K of Enter the Dragon this year for the 50th anniversary.
Surprise, will be 2023.
If the box set would have that version in it you know, the Arrow one. That remains to be seen.
Yeah, that's food for
Could
thought,
be,
isn't
yeah.
it? I never thought of that. Yeah, you're quite right. Yeah. Also, how about the 4K Exorcist? It is 1973 after all, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see that.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay. So
that was a
one step ahead of me then.
That's been completely one have said they're doing it. So that's
all right.
Hey,
okay.
John, I've got one up on you, which doesn't happen very
often. I'll never let this down. You never let me live this down. I'll get to some now until doomsday.
All the way home in the car, we say, remember that time when I told you about this?
You know? And I'll just be sitting there, I'm only human. I do make mistakes, I'm not perfect.
Liam F said, Crazy Extra, never watched the sequels though. Have you seen the sequels to Extra? That happens.
No, but I do remember a few years ago reading an interview with Harry Bromley Davenport, who I believe he directed Extra 2, I think. And he was all about John Michael Vincent, who I believe is in Extra 2. Again, I haven't seen this, I can't say for certain, but he wants, I mean, Harry Bromley Davenport, I think he was one of his directors who just tells it like it is, which I prefer people like that. But I'm sure, if I remember rightly, he called John Michael Vincent one of the great junks of our time. I mean, I never knew John Michael Vincent personally, I don't know. But that's what, I'm sure that's what Harry Bromley Davenport called him when he was interviewing about him.
Yeah, like it is,
Yeah, and exactly, but I think I might have seen maybe the odd clip or two of Extra 2, but that's as far as I've ever got. I've never seen the sequel, but the first one's good enough for me.
Yeah, I never went to the next. I have heard bad things about them. Brian says, I would love the 70s TV series Journey into the Unknown to come out on DVD or Blu-ray. It's a horror anthology series.
It rings a bell, actually. Maybe it sounds like a job for Network. I don't know.
Actually, yeah, I would say Network for that one.
I must admit, I mean, it's when you think of how many, I don't think we realise how many great TV series there were in the 70s and 80s. I mean, I mentioned you earlier on, Alternative 77. The Hawks sci-fi report from that year. Sorry, Alternative 3. I do apologise. I was confused there. Alternative 3 from 77, which was like a mock science report, which was made to look real, and it got a lot of complaints on TV. It's funny I was mentioning to John earlier on, but it's.
I never heard of it actually.
I prefer that kind of TV, like 70s and 80s. Like I see, I do tend to buy a lot of that stuff from Network. I don't watch much modern TV or documentaries, fly in the wall stuff. Stuff which I find a bit more stimulating. You'll never find me watching like reality TV, that sort of thing. It's not my not my bag at all. I'm afraid.
Throwaway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't get out of it, I think.
No.
Grayson says, have you tried The Mind of Mr. G. Reader TV series, late 60s, early 70s, with Hugh Burden, based on the Edgar Wallace stories? Very whimsical, also on Network.
I have heard of it. I've never actually seen it.
I haven't heard it at all, actually. Pete Platendo, guys, says, like Army of Darkness, it's such fun and wacky film. Really like the mix of slapstick comedy and Ray Harryhausen effects. Yeah, it ticked all the boxes for me. How hard was it to get the full version of that back in the day? It was impossible.
Oh no! I mean, it's. I think for a while, it was the Japanese Laserdisc Captain Supermarket was the way to go. I mean, of course, this was before DVDs and obviously Blu-rays and the UHDs we have now. And then I believe there was an Australian DVD set which was quite definitive for its time, and that was like superseded by the Blu-rays and the UHDs. But I mean, I think now you've got pretty much the most comprehensive package you're going to get. I can't imagine you getting much.
No,
more complete.
Unless you release them all in 4K, because only one cut in 4K.
It is. It's at the. I think is it the theatrical cut?
It's not a longer cut.
Yeah, so the longer cuts are still in HD as opposed to UHD.
So I'm holding out for that. If it comes across with them all getting out at 4K, I'll buy that box. But apart from that, I've got the Blu-rays that are just good enough for me.
Well, Screen Factory did that with Life Force. When they've done Life Force,
they did.
Yeah.
So well, how many times you've heard that? Undead 683. I also think that because the cinemas are mostly Marvel and Disney films, most people are not influenced by the more art house like movies, like you and me, just us in the community.
Yeah, it is.
Also, the second part of that is a lot of people are just unable to appreciate the art house and cult films like we do in this community. It takes talks about things like video nasties and Godzilla. That's just my theory. Yeah, it's not it's kind of just out the mainstream.
It is. No, it's another good point to make, because how many times have I praised you foreign films? How many times, and there's some people up there that won't touch world cinema just because, they don't want to read subs, or they don't like films made by foreigners. And I'll be honest with you, I don't like that opinion when people say, well, it's a foreign film, so it's rubbish. Well, it might be true in some cases, yeah, but not always. I've seen great films from France, from Spain, Italy.
Well, you're always on about French films.
Yeah, Japan, Thailand, Korea, especially Korean cinema within recent years.
Yeah, you say about Korea.
All sorts of great countries delivering some great films. So it is. I do agree. I think it's more like it's a niche thing. Some people you'll never be able to get to appreciate that kind of cinema. Where some people might give it a go. It's a bit like, say, like the Debs. Now, I would never expect a Debs to be into kung fu cinema.
She is.
I think it's great.
I'm surprised. I
think it's great. And I would like. I like when, as I've said before, a while back, I like when somebody does that. When somebody who you wouldn't think would normally enjoy a certain kind of cinema gives it a go, enjoys it, and then says, "Well, hey, well, I quite enjoyed that." Well, my advice would be, well, try a bit more.
Well, it all started with Ip Man, because I said to her, I said, "Look, this Ip Man film is great. It's got a lot of kung fu in it, but there's a lot of heart to it." I said, "The performance from Donnie Yen is second to none. Best performance for me." I said, "Give it a shot." And I thought she might watch the first one, just think, whatever, it's not for me, because she'd never been a fan of martial arts up until then. Put her on, and that was it. She loved it.
Magic worked.
Well, it didn't. I never thought at the start of this thing, she'll be mad keen on kung fu movies now. And she was. I think, actually, I do think that if you start somebody off on Summit, if you give them a good if I say, hey, watch a kung fu movie, the first kung fu you're going to watch is going to be Enter the Game of Death.
Yeah.
Should say, don't ever show me another kung fu movie. But because I set her off at the bar so high by Ip Man, it was an easy shoehorn for the rest. Yeah. Do you think that could be a thing?
I do. Yeah, you've got to try and pick the right kind of film. Yeah. You'll be, I mean, it's like I say, it's wrong to think that only Hollywood does great films and nobody else does. Yes, I mean, Hollywood does great films, of course they do. And they do the biggest films, the biggest budgets, the biggest stars, the biggest premieres, and the big special effects and all the rest of it. But they don't always do the best films. Great films can come from other countries as well. Yeah. So it's wrong to sort of just like try and pigeonhole just that one particular kind of industry. But yeah, I think it's like I say, world cinema. It's appreciated by a certain kind of individual, a certain kind of audience. But I like it when somebody who would generally avoid that kind of cinema, like I say, tries it out, realizes it might have missed out on something, and then I'm going to dip my toe into this pool a little bit more.
Yeah.
So if I can try and do something to try and get again, maybe expand somebody's horizons in that kind of cinema. If I can do it, I'm certainly like to try and maybe give people a gentle push in the right direction. Hopefully it works.
Bit of gun.
Watch this or die.
Liam F says, want to get Night of the Demon new DVD release sometime.
So I take it this must be the Bigfoot Night of the Demon, the James C. Wasson one from 1980.
It's great.
It's
low budget, but it's great.
It is chiefly remembered for one certain scene, which I don't think I'll need to.
That's it.
I don't think I need to go into detail. Anybody who's seen the film will know the scene. But it is again. When I saw that film when I was a kid, more than once, it was. One of those. Whoa.
Well, basically, when you watch that, don't have hot dogs for tea.
Yeah, that's it. If you're caught short when you're on the bike, just watch where you pull over.
Exactly.
But it's. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I never thought we'd see the Blu-ray of that, because I thought the Code Red DVD from years ago was going to be the best we were going to get. How wrong I was, and 7 gave it a great release, 88 have given it a great release, and it doesn't matter which release you get them more or less. I think pretty much the same bar the packaging. So again, if you got it, watch it. Hope you enjoy it.
So there's a comment here, but I'm going to leave that one to the last comment because we're going to come up to the last comment soon.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll go through a few of these ones, and then we'll go to that one that I'm going to point out there.
Okay.
So Cy Robson says, have you seen the trailer for Renfield? Nicolas Cage as Dracula looks bizarre. I have actually seen it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
it looks.
Yeah.
It looked like, like what's that TV show called when they have the vampires? It's like a sort of comedy show.
What we do in the shadows.
Yeah,
Is that the one?
it reminds us of that. Actually, it looks all right. I don't know if I'll go to the cinema this year, but I think I'll check it out somewhere on streaming, I think. Under 683, got to go, guys. I'm going to get some burritos. And I'm going to go to dig into the Gothic Fantastico box set from Arrow. Have a great stream and have a good weekend. Yeah, you too.
Okay, thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate you taking your time out to watch the stream. So hope you have a lovely weekend. Hope you enjoy the box set. Take care now. Stay safe.
Thanks, mate. And also, Daniel Mayen says, really good channel. And he says, also like the unboxings. Now, if you're thinking about unboxings, what we're actually doing here as well as a live stream before and after it. We're going to finish it off now. And we're going to cut it up, and you're going to see it probably next week or the week after in the finished form. And this is going to be like an unboxing because John's brought a bag over there. So you're going to see it unboxed in the bag, but you're going to see what he's got in here. As you've seen on other videos. So keep an eye out for that because I've seen some of the stuff here and it's great. And I haven't even seen the stuff in the bag. So that's coming up. And also I was talking there before about Michael Hewitt. There's going to be an unboxing from him, which I've done kind of, but it's going to be with a twist, which is going to be like one I've never done before. So that's coming up. So yeah, I love doing unboxings because I also like to have unboxings where I don't really know what's going to come, especially when I'm doing it myself and I'm pulling them out and going, whoa, because you get that sort of thrill when you're seeing it, you don't know what to expect.
You do. Well, I mean, can I just also, John mentioned I've got a bag down here. Just let me assure you, there's not a body in it. Don't worry about that.
Isn't it?
No.
I'm surprised.
If there is, it's the smallest body I've ever seen. But no, but you rest assured there's no body in that bag.
Right.
Something
we'll have to do better next time. And so Jim Jam Movies, James. Hi guys, great to see you both.
All right, James.
Great guy, James. Got a lot of time for James, and he also said he's overspent in the network sale. Now I know he's
that feeling.
Big fan of British stuff, pretty British sort of TV series and stuff like that. So I can imagine you hammering the network sale. Yeah. So nice to see you though, James. And so the last comment I'll read out is from Warp Art Studio.
All right.
What 4K player do you both use? Now I'll go first here. I'll say that my 4K player is a Sony one. It's a Sony, MX whatever. It's middle of the range, 170 I think it's called, and it's not hugely expensive, but it's not ultra cheap, and it's more than adequate for me. And I will think that I'll upgrade it sometime soon, but I don't have to. But I might get one, but I don't think I need to at this point. But it will be Sony because I'm a bit of a Sony fanatic. So that's my 4K player. So what's your 4K player, John?
You don't know the answer to that one. What 4K player? I haven't even got a Blu-ray player. Okay, I've got boxfuls of Blu-rays. Believe it or not, I've got a lot of Blu-rays, but I haven't even got a Blu-ray player yet. I've spent that much time and money buying Blu-rays. I've never got out and buying the player. Believe it or not.
So okay. It might sound strange that, but if you think about it, because what you're saying is that you want to get a dedicated TV, 4K TV, 4K player.
Yeah, get the setup, and then make it jump. Believe it or not, that's another word of a lie. It's just God's honest truth. I'm still using a multi-region DVD player, a Pioneer Model 505, which I brought way back in 1998. It's about that. It's like that.
It's a good machine, though, isn't it?
It still works. It plays any disc you put in. It was a multi-region player. I brought it back in '98. Actually, I call it Old Faithful, and it's still.
I bet it cost a canny bit of money back then.
It did. It cost. I did have to do a bit of overtime for that, if I remember rightly.
But you can buy a 4K, or you can buy a Blu-ray player now for about 20 quid.
I want to try and get a multi-region one which upscales to 4K, but I must admit my DVD player now. Like I say, it's been a threat to me for a long time, but maybe it's starting to show signs of the old wear and tear. I don't know, but. That's what I mean. I mean,
I think at that time, you had yours before me, but I bought one, I think it was nearly the same as yours, or around about the same as yours. And when I used it, mine didn't last half it. Mine was gone and done and dusted because the drawer kept coming. You had to come out and you had to throw the thing in.
It's like mine. That's like mine. That's what mine's doing now. It's funny. Funny enough, no, it's funny. That's exactly what's happening with mine now. One time it didn't happen, but it is now. The tray comes out. If I've got to be able to lively to put the disc in there, because if I don't, I'll lose a finger. But it's like that, and it's the same when you need to take out the disc. If you don't take it out, so.
Oh yes, it goes back in. Yeah.
Yeah, and the player was not like that at one time, but within recent years, it's starting to. I don't know if it's maybe it's a sign, but like I say, I want it. As I've said before, the buck stops at Blu-ray for me. I've got no intention of upgrading to UHD. Nothing against the format, but I've spent a lot of my life collecting films. I've spent a lot of time, a lot of money, and I'm at an age now where I think you've got to draw a line. So
just cut your losses and just go to 8K straight away.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think if I can try and get myself, like I say, a multi-region 4K upscaling Blu-ray player, that'll be enough for me. And I think by the time I get around to watching some of these discs, I think I'll be near retirement age, and I'm just probably putting in my. But no, that's where I am at the moment. Just I wish it was, if there was more hours in the day, then I would
invent like
I would, yeah.
Days with more hours in it, or a tablet made you don't have to go to sleep ever.
Or like a working week, but like Saturday and Sunday, the working week, and Monday to Friday, just all the time off. I have a lot more time to watch films and do what I want to do.
Of course.
An ideal world, but it's not that.
So we've done an hour and 35 minutes.
Yeah.
So how do you feel at the end of this stream? Do you feel okay with it?
I do actually, yeah.
Do you think it was, as anyone you're trying to do this is your first time, do you think that you had in your mind it was going to be a lot different than what it was?
Not a bit more different, but I do feel better. But I do hope I've wasted nobody's time yet, because that would never be my intention. I've been as nervous. I've been thinking about this for a while.
No, honestly,
before today, and I was nervous. I was being nervous as well, as you can tell.
Well, it took a bit of convincing to do it, but I knew once you got it, and I'm sure the next time you do it, when you come on, you'll not feel as.
I like to think I wouldn't. But really, my attitude would be, if you've had a good time and feel you haven't wasted your time and enjoyed yourself, then that's my job done. If I've entertained you and kept you awake this last 95 minutes or so, then that's I've done my job.
Well, nobody's putting little emoji on for sleeping emoji yet.
Not yet. There's still time. There's still time, don't you?
We've just got Colin Wellens saying it's been a nice watch. Thanks, lads.
Thanks, Colin. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, okay, lovely. That's what it's all about. Just hopefully you've had a good time. We've had a great time, and we're going to now stop the stream. I'm going to go back to finish off this video, which when you see it, if you watch the video and you'll see the kind of the picture get from light to dark, that was when
it's getting darker over there now, isn't it?
Because obviously then the light goes a little bit. But anyway,
what I would say just before we go, if I do apologise if there's anybody's comments I haven't replied to. Okay, I just try to talk and watch at the same time. It's more difficult than I thought it was going to be. But I would like to say thank you all for tuning in. Okay, I do appreciate that. Thanks for your time. Like I say, I hope I haven't wasted any of it. Okay.
So James, it's the vibe, says you've done good.
Thanks, James. I really appreciate that.
I think you're both great. Well, thanks. But I think it's. I think, John, you've done really well, and you've.
Well, it's nice to be appreciated. Put that way. I'm not grateful for that. So thank you, John. Thank you all very much for the kind words. I do appreciate it as always.
It's great to have you on, John. I mean, we've talked for a while, but we're going to now thank everybody for checking out the stream. We really appreciate everybody who's commented and watched. And if you're watching this on catch up, I hope you enjoy it. And John will come back for extra things. Obviously, we've still got this opening of everything here. And also, you're going to see him on a live stream again, and a longer one, maybe earlier on and stuff like that.
By all means, yeah. Well, hopefully, if you want me to invite me back to your homes again, if you can stand a second session with me, then that's absolutely fine. Okay, I just hope I can deliver. But I thank you all so much. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in.
Well, I'm going to work for the weekend, so there you go. But never mind, enough of that. Okay, so. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Take care. Thank you all. Bye-bye now.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
See you later.